Really the hottest nigga, you gon' respect this lava. I'm shooting it if I pull it, boy, make sure you want this drama. I bring it to you like it's Law and Order SVU. Turn you to a vegetable, now you look good inside a soup. Family come from Bishopville, but I grew up in that Bronx Zoo, where they shoot you dead in the street and then dance all on top of you. And I do what I gotta.
We got some more stories of cripping from the real niggas who was dead. Let us know who we got on the line right now, my brother.
Yo, what it is, what it was, what it do, it's your favorite big homie, Cyrus, man. C-Ride, you know that. On some east side shit. Moving like that.
I bet. So, let the people know where you from, where have you lived in your lifetime.
I'm from the DMV, specifically Landover, Cap Heights, the lower southeast part of DC. You know about that, Bennett Road, Capitol Heights, Shell Street. That's Maryland, that's borderline like Maryland, and across the street is DC. That's where I grew up at. And then when I lived in Cali, I was in Anaheim, and I used to move, cruise down like DeSoto, Magnolia. I used to be younger when I was with the chickies, because I'm married now, let me watch what I say, but younger when I was chicky, I used to ride with them through Compton. Oh man, I used to be all over the place, up and down Sepulveda Boulevard, shit like that, and take my ass back up 14 Palmdale.
Okay, bet. All right, so talking about the Maryland, DC area first. As far as what you know, what year did the Crips start to become a thing and numbers started getting up there in the Maryland and DC area? And also, how old were you when you were witnessing this?
I was born in 84, and in 94 is when you can see and you know the cribbing was down here and shit had to been set up. And that's them top dogs, the top dog gangsters. Because they've been out here since 94. And just to put this out there for everybody else who also knows about the DMV, you know, really don't do color banging, but niggas bang differently. It's neighborhoods and cliques and shit like that. But you got the powerhouses inside of them joints as well. Like I said, Top Dog 94 back then, that's when that was started and going on. And then you had some like lokes around Swan Road. You got some lokes around, some hoovers around fucking Minnesota Avenue. Like some scattered out around Berry Farms, but there's a lot more hoovers out Baltimore.
Okay. Now, can you describe what was it like for you growing up around that time there, seeing that? And how old were you when you joined the Crips? And what inspired you to do so?
Alright. So when I was a snotty nose doing like the shit I was doing B&E stuff. And the first time I did it was with the Crip nigga I knew around Swan Road. And he was by himself and he was telling me everything. And the most at the time, I ain't really know besides like some top dogs that I knew, but what was going on, because my foster family, that people that raised me, they from Chicago. So I was doing my B&Es, doing this and that, kicking it with him, growing up, knowing what's going on. Fast forward, there's little scatters of niggas who say they this and that in high school. I went to Friendly High School, Fordville High School. And it was a lot more Don moves for real, because DC is like black and red state. Like niggas wear black and red like a motherfucker. And they'll tell you they ain't blood. But they be throwing up the signs in all different hoods. Nigga, y'all blood. But anywho, by the time I got to 17 is what made me say, I want to get down with the Lokes, because I ended up meeting my dad and going to Cali. Woo, and there it go. There it go from right there. My dad was fucking with Crip niggas. And from there, living out there, seeing what's going on, like for me, it was like, nigga, this is like everybody back home on the block. But it's different, because everybody, like, Everybody 10 toes. And that's back then. That was, well, I'm at my dad. And I went out there at 17. That was like 2003. You know what I'm saying? And I see the powerhouses. If I drove down DeSoto, if I drove down Magnolia Boulevard, I'm getting my hair done, braided up at Diamond's Hair Braidery Joint. And you just see looks everywhere, nigga. Like everywhere. Like the long shirts. Like I said, this was like 03. So niggas got the long shirts. Niggas is ragging. Niggas outside doing what they do. I'm like, man, that shit is like home. Home for me.
So this was like a culture shock for you at that time, but like in a good way.
In a good way, because I've been, I watch all the gangster movies growing up. My people's from Chicago. They wild.
Yeah.
So for me to be with my dad and live with my dad and be on the West and see everything, and I'm living here, so I'm not like a fucking prime suspect because I'm just out the blue. Like, niggas knew my dad. So, I'm out here, I'm politicking with certain niggas, riding with niggas doing the wildest shit, stopping in the middle of the highway to get bitches numbers and shit like that. Just stopping the whole highway. Don't give no fucks at all. Fuck the police, fuck everything. And niggas is just getting, they crippin'. Like, that's what it is. You gonna do it like this, like that. That's what made me say, nigga, I'm with all of this.